So in this video, we're going to look at using the law of sines to help us solve some word problems. So the first one here says Ravi and Kala are standing on a riverbank 240 miles apart. And so the first thing we want to do is we kind of want to draw a picture. So if I think about that, here is Ravi and here is Kala, and they are 240 meters apart. And they want to know the distance from Ravi to a house that's located across the river. So in the middle here is our river, and then over here there is some house. And it says that Ravi's angle is 45 degrees. So if we were to draw to the house here, we're saying that Ravi, this angle in here is 45 degrees. And then it says Kala's angle is 66 degrees. So if we go this way, we're saying Kala's angle is 66 degrees. And so we want to know what is the distance from Ravi to the house. So we're looking for this distance here. We'll call that x. So the first thing we can do, so we could set up the law of sines. So if we look at this, if I happen to know this angle, I could say that the sine of this angle here over 240 is equal to the sine of 66 over x. And while I don't exactly know this angle is pretty easy for us to find. So remember, we have here a triangle, and all the angles in a triangle add up to 180. So 180 degrees has to be equal to the 45 degrees plus the 66 degrees plus, we could call this A. So angle A. And so if we put these together, so if we take 180 minus 45 degrees minus 66 degrees, that would give us A. So A in this case ends up being 69 degrees. So now I know in here is 69 degrees, and now I can use the law of sines. So the sine of 69 degrees divided by 240 is going to be equal to the sine of 66 degrees over x. So if I cross multiply, x sine 69 degrees equals 240 sine 66 degrees. If I divide both sides by the sine of 69 degrees, x, and we punch that into our calculator, x turns out to be approximately 234.8 meters if I round to the nearest tenth. So it's not too terrible. So we'll look at another problem here. Mountain officials want to find the length of a new ski lift from A to C as shown in the figure. They measured that the angle DAC to be 33 degrees. So if I put DAC in here, we know that DAC is going to be 33 degrees. So that's this angle here. They then move 1,220 feet. So this part from here to here is 1,220 feet to point B, and they measure the angle DBC to be 22 degrees. So this angle here is 22 degrees. And we want to find what is the length of the new ski lift from A to C. So we want to basically figure out this distance here, x. So again, I have a triangle. So here is, we'll do it in pink this time. Here is my triangle. So x is going to go with the 22 degrees, right? So we can set up, we're going to have the sine of 22 degrees over x, and we need another pair. We need an angle and a side. So if you notice, I happen to have this side here. So if I could figure out what's happening here at C, what that angle is, that would be helpful. It's going to take a tiny bit of work. So one of the first things to notice is that here we can figure out what this angle here is. That angle is, so together, the 33 degrees plus that angle, so we'll just write angle, has to be equal to 180 degrees because it makes a straight line, which means that that angle there is going to turn out to be 180 degrees minus 33 degrees, or 147 degrees. So in here I have 147 degrees. So then to find the angle at the top, we're going to take all together in the triangle. I have the 180 degrees, and we're going to subtract off the 147 degrees and subtract off the 22 degrees. And so when I do all that, this ends up being equal to 11 degrees. So now I can go back to, now that I know that angle, I can set up the rest of my law of sines here. So we have the sine of 22 degrees over x is going to be equal to the sine of 11 degrees over 1,220. And now again, I'm just going to cross multiply. So x sine 11 degrees is 1,220 sine of 22 degrees. Divide both sides by the sine of 11 degrees. And x is going to, if we work that out, be approximately 2,395.2 feet long. So sometimes they give you the picture. If they don't give you the picture, you just want to draw it, and then you're trying to find where you can use that law of sines.